Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our new call-in number is 971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute your phones. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing *6. It's very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. Well, we've called this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone this morning and start with the Board of Commissioners roll call. I've heard Commissioner Olson on the phone, and I wonder if Commissioner Scar is with us. Well, perhaps she's not or not yet. So we will roll right into our agenda. Eric Swanson from Adventist Health Tillamook is not available this morning. So how about the Coastal Caucus? Do we have Senator Weber on this morning?
Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Oh, good. Good morning. I didn't know if I had to also press the *6 this morning. It's nice to be here.
Nice to hear you.
Thank you. I'm in the Valley. Today is, I don't have an 8 o'clock meeting, which is great. So I think we'll be able to do this through the rest of the short session. But if not, I will provide a recording for you. I'm in the Valley. I'm getting ready for another busy day of committees, constituents, caucuses, and lobby. And that's what it's been. We all agreed on Monday morning of this week that last week was at least 3 weeks long with all of the issues and the meetings and the people that we heard from. And then we also had required trainings that we had to do. The trainings take about 8 hours of listening and testing. And so it's very interesting. I also had an opportunity to meet with the governor's representative to discuss the housing issues with the governor's bill. And I think that there are some amendments that are coming to it. So if you are watching on OLIS as to how some of these bills are progressing, please note, go to the amendments and you can see the proposed changes, and it's all very interesting what people are putting forward. There have been some issues with the governor's bill, especially regarding the expansion of the urban growth boundary. And so that has been one of the issues that folks have been trying to work out. But look into that. Go to the Oregon Legislative Information site, and you can find out what's going on with each one of those bills. Committees have been running long because of some of the bills and the testimony. It's really interesting to go down that corridor in front of all the hearing rooms as the hearings are going on and seeing which of the bills are garnering the most attention. And some of the bills, especially the 110 bill, I believe that was a 4-hour hearing, and they had a great deal of people in the overflow. And that is another issue that we met about yesterday morning to get another update on how things are progressing in the committee that is moving this issue forward. It's all very exciting and stimulating, and you learn a lot. And yesterday, the group For the Love of Trails, it was For the Love of Trails Day, and we had a contingent from Oceanside, Manning, and to come and talk, especially about recreational immunity, and that is also moving forward. So we may have at least a temporary fix on that in the short session. Hopefully, that will get handled. The folks that were there yesterday all are people who work on the trails and promote the trails, and we have so many of them in our area, and it's an additional activity for tourists and visitors to do, and we want to make sure that our trails and our playgrounds and everything else that is impacted by recreational immunity will be fixed. Today, I'm testifying on two bills. One is my Highway 30 bill, which is Senate Bill 1556. And we have a good representation of people from all up along the Columbia that are going to be giving positive testimony for that. We have also been asked to expand that. And so that may be coming also, because there is an area adjacent to Portland that is on Highway 30 that has some real strong safety issues, and that needs to be addressed. And so we're working on the possibility of doing that. The other bill that I'm testifying on today is House Bill 4094, which is called the Courthouse Bill. You all know, because you're in the courthouse all the time, as to the condition of your buildings. Well, just amplify that by the 36 counties. And you have an issue that needs to be addressed. And so I will be testifying on that. Yesterday, I had my very first Senate page, and she was from our area, Yukon Riviera. She's a sophomore at Neahkahnie High School, and her mother works for Representative Chachi. And so she was able to spend the day in the Capitol yesterday. She carried the flag in when we went to floor in the morning, and so she was part of that ceremony. And then she did some shadowing, and I took her to the Water Caucus, in which we had an attorney from Bend talking about the different water issues that are impacting the state, and she found it very interesting. So it was really nice. I want to thank Yukon for being there. It was very nice meeting her, and remember that if anyone is interested in doing that while we are in session, please contact us, because it is an opportunity for you as a student to learn more about your government and how it works. Last week, I was able to go to Ross Tomlin's retirement celebration at TBCC, and I want to thank him publicly for all he has done for our community college in expanding and forward thinking, to be able to provide that much needed education that is as varied as all of the people here. And I wish him well in his retirement. The other thing I want to say is, it's charity drive time, and I am impressed with all of the activities and all of the work that the students are doing, and I wish them well. I got to go to the tea on Saturday and taste all of the goodies that we used to enjoy from La Ti Da and see old friends, and it was very nice. So I'll end with that, because I could probably go on for quite some time. And I want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. So thank you for the opportunity once again to provide some information on how your government works. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. I feel fortunate for all of us that your sessions don't start right at 8, so you'll be able to keep us updated on how it's going. So thank you very much for being with us and giving us the report.
Yes, it's only Tuesday that it doesn't start at 8. So it just
lucky.
Works really well.
Yeah, we're very lucky. Do we have any questions for Senator Weber? Well, I wanted to say thank you for your support on the recreational immunity bill. We got an update yesterday from Dan Haag, who works for Visit Tillamook Coast, and he sent an update from the Capitol, and I'll just share it with you. It's brief. He says, it was a great day today. In a nutshell, I think SB 1576-3, Strengthen Recreational Immunity, has a really good chance. And it may be one thing in the whole world that both parties agree on. He says Representative Javity and Senator Weber were adamant about this being a priority. Our group was great. The Oregon Trails Coalition was expecting 40 people and 80 showed up. So we stormed the Capitol and gave the full court press as a bunch of amateur lobbyists. The bill got a public reading today too, which was unexpected. Several outdoor groups gave testimony. So all in all, a positive outcome. Everyone is united and optimistic that this temporary fix will pass, allowing time to work on a permanent solution for 2025. So that was from Dan Haig from Tillamook Coast Visitors Association. And I want to thank you and Representative Javity for supporting that bill, which is really important to Oregonians and to us here on the coast with so many trails.
Yes, it is extremely important. And we have got to make sure that we are the recipients of good news on that one. The other thing I forgot to say, can I add one thing, is that I have been meeting yet with U.S. Renal Care on the issue of dialysis, and it's not moving forward as rapidly as I would like, but I'm going to keep going. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for trying.
There may be good news, but I'm not. Some days I'm optimistic, and some days I think, oh, could these people just do it? And
yeah.
So anyway.
Well, thank you for trying. Our board sent them a letter and asked them to extend, to consider staying in Tillamook, or at least to extend their business in Tillamook while Adventist Health tries to find another provider. But everyone is certainly worried about those local dialysis patients, and I'm really glad that you're working on it. Thank you.
And they seem to think that they have all but a few of them, of the patients, in situations where they will be able to receive care, and that they will be able to get transportation for folks also. So they are working on that part of it. But from my understanding, and I may be wrong, their lease at the hospital goes until April. So we do have time to get things resolved.
Well, again, thank you for working on that. And it's encouraging to hear that they're placing people and providing transportation, because that's the big deal, that people not have to drive to the valley or drive out of town to get dialysis, which I understand takes a long time anyway. And, you know, presumably, it's not something you want to have to travel to the valley every other day to do. Yes.
So there you go.
Thank you.
I'm finished now.
Okay.
Okay.
Representative Javity, are you with us this morning? Take a moment. Maybe he's unmuting. Well, Representative Javity, if you're with us, we can't hear you. If he jumps on later, we will give him a chance. And then we'll just move on in our agenda to Tillamook County Community Health Center is not available today. So we'll jump over to Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy.
Oh, Commissioner, this is Ed Colson with the Health Department.
Hey, good morning, Ed. I'm sorry I had the wrong information. I'm delighted to hear your voice.
Oh, good morning, and good morning, Tillamook County. The Health Department is here with an update. We've got a lot of them this morning. To start off with, February is Heart Health Month, so did you know that making small changes in your daily routine can have a big impact on your heart? As we continue with our weekly celebration of Heart Healthy Month, here is the Heart Healthy advice for this week. Consider starting with adding heart-healthy foods into your diet, such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein. Regular exercise is also key to keeping your heart strong. Find an activity you enjoy and make it a part of your routine. Whether it's walking, jogging, dancing, or yoga, let's keep our hearts pumping. Finally, practice activities that help to reduce stress. Today's world can present many challenges, but staying in tune with our bodies and taking time to relax can lower our risk for conditions like heart disease, obesity, high blood pressure, and depression. Learn more about the facts from heart disease from CDC, and we share that on our Facebook page. For people who use drugs, supporting them in preventing overdoses and adopting safer use practices are proven steps toward hope, healing, and health. For harm reduction for Valentine's Day, please join us in sharing this message of hope and healing by sharing our fun and important harm reduction Valentine's Day cards on our Facebook page. To learn more about the evidence-based practice of harm reduction, please visit fentanylawarenorthwest.com. In addition, you can access free Narcan in our outdoor Nalox boxes around Tillamook County, which are available 24/7 and are found at our public health building, CARE, Serenity Club, Rising Heart Student, Tillamook Veterinary Hospital, and Tillamook Family Counseling Center. We're also really excited to announce that we will be hosting another overdose prevention training open to the general public on Thursday, February 29th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Blue Heron. This training will be similar to the Nachos and Narcan event we held last summer at TVCC. The training includes a talk about stigma reduction, local overdose data and trends, how to identify and respond to an overdose, and naloxone safety and training. The training also goes in depth on fentanyl exposures and other misinformation that is commonly shared in the media. We hope to give Tillamook County residents the information and tools they need to navigate the climate we have found ourselves in. There will be a free dinner served by the Blue Heron to the first 50 folks who RSVP, and you can do that by emailing Rachel.Koljeski, and that's Koljesky at tillamookcounty.gov, or give us a call at 503-842-3934. We're also holding focus groups online and in person starting next week, February 21st through March 5th, and that's to gather input from as many community members as we can. We need your help to chart the future of the critical services we provide, including primary care, dental, behavioral health, environmental health, and public health. We are working with a company called Solid Ground who will specialize in gathering health feedback to conduct these focus groups for us. The information they collect and present back to us will not include any personal details. Instead, it will be a summary of the feedback and learnings to help us serve the community even better. Focus groups are limited to about 12 to 15 people per group, and a gift card will be provided to each person for their time and opinion. Registration is required, so please visit our website, tillamookchc.org, to learn more and register. School exclusion dates for immunizations are coming up, and that's on February 21st, 2024. All children in Oregon's public and private schools, preschools, Head Start, and certified child care facilities must have up-to-date documentation on their required immunizations or have an exemption by February 21st, which is school exclusion day. If parents and caregivers do not provide these records to the child's school by that day, the child will be sent home unless they have an exemption. For parents seeking immunizations for their children or anyone else, they may stop by our all-ages vaccine clinic this Sunday, February 18th from noon to 4 p.m. at our main clinic, which is on 801 Pacific Avenue in Tillamook. This is a walk-in clinic, so no appointments are needed. All childhood and most adult vaccines will be available, and eligibility will vary by age and vaccine. Vaccines are a covered benefit for many health insurance plans, and no one can be turned away from a local health department because of the inability to pay for the required vaccines. Letters from our office have gone out in regard to school exclusion day. If you're unable to make that event and still need immunizations for your child, well, please contact your pediatrician, or you can call our public health nurse line 503-842-3940, or you can contact 211 for more local resources. And lastly, Tillamook County Community Health Centers will be closed next Monday, February 19th, in recognition of President's Day. If you do need to reach a provider on call, you can call us at 503-842-3900. And if you're having an emergency, please call 911, and we will resume our regular business hours the next day, Tuesday, the 20th of February. And that's our report, and we'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ed. That was a very thorough and interesting report. I really appreciate it. Do we have any questions for Ed? Well, you led with February being American Heart Month, and so I wanted to mention to the community on the subject of Heart Month that this month at North County Recreation District, there is an annual art show that's called Art for the Heart. And so it's a heart themed art show hanging in there's a gallery at NCRD, and you can go look at the art. It's for sale. I'm trying to remember when this might be the 10th anniversary. This show might have been going on for 10 years, but it started when I was at Adventist Health, and we were trying to figure out a unique way to celebrate Heart Month. So we started this art show, Art for the Heart, and it's the very broad invitation call to artists to create work that speaks to their heart or reflects something about the heart. So it could be anatomical hearts, it could be how people feel about something that moves their heart, etc. So it's a very broad representation of artistic vision about hearts, and it's just every year it's just a wonderful show that showcases the extraordinary talent of Tillamook County artists, and also starts a conversation about heart health in Tillamook County, which is the location is perfect because it's at NCRD, which is really the heart of Nehalem and like a community center. And, they have a fitness facility, which contributes to heart health in the community, and a pickleball court. So it's really very nice. So shout out to Art for the Heart at NCRD through the month of February. And thank you very much, Ed, for your report.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I will go on now to Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Gail, are you with us?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And I would like to do a shout out to NCRD myself for the wonderful event on Saturday, Pop Goes the Heart. It was an enjoyable time, and I look forward to seeing everyone there. Here at the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy, speaking of our pharmacy, we are going to soon have a new feature. It's called a pharmacy pickup locker, and we're doing it in partnership and collaboration with the Columbia Pacific CCO and Care Oregon. So stay tuned for more details. It's going to be in our lobby waiting area and should help those who are interested in participating in that program to not have to wait or pick up a pager in our pharmacy. You'll just be able to come in and you'll receive an access code and be able to access your prescriptions there. So otherwise, we're here in Wheeler and waiting to serve you. If you need an appointment with one of our providers, please give us a call at 800-368-5182. And that's my announcements. Those are my announcements for this morning.
Thank you very much, Gail. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
I would like to say that I live in North County, and I have recently started using the Reinhardt Pharmacy, and it's a pleasure to do business there. The wait is very short, and the people are nice, and it's just easy and stress-free to do business there. So for folks who are, since there's been a closure of a pharmacy in Tillamook, I know that it's harder for people to get their prescriptions in Tillamook, and I'll just remind people that Reinhardt Pharmacy there, or Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy in Wheeler is there, ready to do business and doing a good job, and the wait is short. With that, we don't have Tillamook Family Counseling Center with us today, so we can move on to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Brown, are you with us?
Good morning, I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning, we can.
Don't have a lot to report on, just some very vague information. I believe everybody, well, it was on a lot of scanner pages and Facebook, and probably talked about a lot. There was a major accident yesterday north of Rockaway, kind of a common spot for accidents to happen. Can't really say much beyond just that there was a major crash there. Couple of reasons for that. One is that it's going to be an ongoing investigation still. And secondly, the sheriff's office is not the primary agency conducting that. That would be Oregon State Police. So it's more just an acknowledgement that it did happen, I guess. Community probably has a lot of questions. Unfortunately, I don't have any specific answers to that. And yeah, so the only other thing I do want to mention is we've had a lot of positive stuff happening with our recruiting right now. Not quite ready to give a full report because there's still a few things happening, but hopefully here very soon, within the next handful of weeks, I'll be able to give a good full report. And like I said, there's a lot of positive stuff happening, so that's really good for us and really good for the county. With that, I don't have anything else, and I can take questions.
Thank you, Sheriff. Do we have any questions for the sheriff? Well, specific to that accident yesterday, I was pleased at how well I got an alert from Tillamook County, and I also got an alert from ODOT that Highway 101 was closed. And that was very helpful because I was at work in Barview and I needed to go north to go home. And so those alerts happened right away and they were very helpful. So I imagine people got them all over the place and that alert system is working well.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. So with that, we can roll right into emergency management and thank Randy for the alert that we got from the county. Are you with us, Randy?
You bet, I'm here.
Good morning.
Well, to start off with, the state has started to set up their preliminary damage assessment interviews for next week. This is in conjunction to damage received here in the county during our ice storm. The individual that is heading that up is her name is Lily Lessie, and she works for the Department of Emergency Management in the recovery section, and she's going to be the FEMA kind of go-between. And so she's starting to set up those appointments, and she has set those up with the agencies here that did suffer some damage. So hopefully we're moving forward. She did say that the president still has not signed an official declaration, but it looks like we are headed in that direction. We're just, she said they're just waiting for him to finish that off so we can start the actual processes. So that's a good thing that we're moving forward. It looks like there won't be any site visits needed because of the damage has already been repaired here. So we're moving in the right direction. So that's good. So as far as the weather, I looked it up and it looks like we're going to get some heavy rainfall this Wednesday and Thursday. So it's a beautiful day today. So call in sick if you haven't gone into work yet and enjoy the sunshine today. It looks like they're going to get 1.5 to 2 inches in that 48-hour period. And of course, heavier amounts as we move east and upwards into the coastal range. Snow level is going to be around 2,800 feet, they say, on Wednesday, and rising up to about 3,400 feet that afternoon. So, well, in addition to being National Heart Month, it is also National Canned Food Month. I didn't know canned food had their own month, but I did find that out. So with that in mind, you should be stocking canned food, dry mixes, and other staples that do not require refrigeration, cooking, water, or special preparation. And make sure you have that little manual can opener too to make sure you can get into those cans, because food inside a can doesn't do you much good in an emergency. So the other thing, considering what you're going to store on that, just make sure you have a several-day supply of non-perishable foods. And of course, make sure that those are foods your family will eat, because there's no sense in having a whole bunch of canned sardines if your kids do not eat sardines. So make sure that you check to make sure that it's something that they will eat, and remember any dietary needs that your family has when you're starting to do that. Again, best thing is ready to eat canned meats, fruits, vegetables, protein bars, fruit bars, dry cereal, granola. That's my favorite, granola. Peanut butter, dried fruit, canned juices, and even they make non-perishable pasteurized milk. So that's another thing that if that's a need in your family. And some high energy foods. And of course, remember the kids, and also remember those puppies and cats and any other types of animals that you may be taking care of, because they are also in need during those times of emergency. And again, first thing I put in there is my stress and comfort food. So, you know, that's a very, very important to have that also in your supplies that you're getting ready for. So with that, enjoy the sunshine today. Drive safe if you're out enjoying this weather, and get the umbrellas ready for Wednesday. And that's all I have, Commissioner.
Thank you, Randy. Do we have any questions for Randy? Well, on the subject of canned food month, I also didn't know there was a canned food month. My son this year asked for emergency preparedness supplies for Christmas, and I went to the cash and carry. It's used to be cash and carry. Now it's called something else. I can't remember, in Warrenton. But if you Googled cash and carry, I'm sure you'd find it. And got things like peanut butter, like Randy just mentioned, peanut butter and chili and dried beans and dried rice. I got all kinds of protein items to store for his emergency preparedness supply. And then also some things that I know he thinks are treats. And it seemed like a really good investment, in terms of emergencies, certainly. And thank you for making the point about things your family will eat, you know, so I'm sure he will look at those expiration dates and eat those foods before they expire and then replace them. So it's, but there's a real reassurance in knowing that you have that kind of thing available. If you need it, it's there. You won't go hungry. So it's really, it's a pretty simple and easy way to take care of your family and prepare for disaster and buy things that you'll use anyway and that won't go to waste. So thanks for mentioning it. All right. Well, we can move on at this point to, let me just check and see if Representative Javity has joined us. If not, we'll move on to the Board of Commissioners office and start with Commissioner Olson.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. I do have a number of things this morning, and I'll begin with the fact that I was headed to Nehalem last night to visit with the city council, and I was turned around by ODOT and I guess the state police. As you heard, there was a terrible accident somewhere south of Wheeler. So I hope it wasn't all that bad, but evidently it was a major accident. So several things. Senator Weber mentioned House Bill 4094, which authorizes the state of Oregon to issue some bonds to fund courthouse improvements. I'm scheduled to testify this afternoon on that bill as well, because it has direct implications for us here in Tillamook County, since we're in the process of negotiating on a purchase of a building that would likely become our courthouse, not the full courthouse, but would house the actual courts, district attorney, and perhaps support personnel and so on. So that's a very meaningful bill, and we're hoping it gets through the session. And by the way, when the legislature is in session, you know, the standard advice is hold on to your purse and hold on to your wallet, because one never knows what will happen over there. And things are moving very, very quickly. As you heard, this session is only 35 days long. So I'll mention a couple of other things. The Habitat Conservation Plan, which is some adjustments to be made to harvest levels in the state forests, not the federal forests like Mount Hood or the Willamette or Siuslaw, but the state forests, including the Tillamook State Forest. I have a lot of detail on that, but I'll not go through that because, first of all, it'd probably put everyone to sleep, and Second of all, it can be a bit confusing, but I will say this, and these numbers are from the state forestry through the Association of Oregon Counties. If everything goes through as proposed, what will be left open to harvest in the Tillamook forest is roughly 38% of the entire forest. So you can think about that number. Now, a good share of the forest is already off limits because of simply it's too steep or there's not enough quality trees, and there's some other items in play through the Forest Management Act. However, the additional is rather substantial, and it takes it down to where something less than 40% would be available for harvest. So I'll just leave that one at that. More to come as that continues to go through the process. Another update I can give on Sand Lake Road, which is just north of Pacific City, south of Tierra del Mar. There was, it's been a month and a half, I guess now, a major slide that took the northbound or southbound lane, actually, the one closest to the ocean. It basically fell down the slope onto the beach. And it's still not passable, although I'm understanding heavy equipment is arriving this week. They're putting in some water drainage systems and then a retaining wall, and we're shooting for the end of March to have that open. Now, it won't be open both ways at the same time. It will be a one-lane traffic controlled by an intermittent signal, meaning you'll have to wait for a green light, just like a traffic light anywhere. So good news is it's moving forward. It required some specialized equipment, and that's on the way. So picked up on a couple of other items. Just as a point of interest, I'll mention another item at the legislature. There's a House Joint Resolution number 201, and that has to do with public safety. But here's the issue that I think would be important to listeners and all of us here in Tillamook County and in fact across the state of Oregon. For the first time in memory, this bill would authorize a statewide property tax. Now, I believe this bill requires a vote of the people, so it would, if it passes, it would go before voters at the November 2024 election. But what it does, it authorizes a statewide property tax beyond the limits of measures 5 and 50, which came into play 20 plus years ago and limited the types and amount of property tax that could be levied in Oregon. The important distinction is for many, many years, in fact, probably since Oregon was founded, there were two sources of revenue for all the government, state and local across Oregon. There's a property tax and an income tax. And the income tax is basically how the state of Oregon raises the majority of its money. And of course, the tax varies in their different brackets, and it's adjusted from time to time. Property taxes, on the other hand, have been the exclusive method by which counties have generated money and also passing it on to special districts. So if that were passed by the voters, first of all, if it gets through the legislature, then it goes before the voters. And if they pass it, that will be the first major departure in how taxes are levied in the state of Oregon. So it's more than just a bill, another bill. It's a really comprehensive change to how governments are funded across the state of Oregon. And here in Tillamook County, we have not only the county itself, but there are 21 special districts, and 16 of those receive money from harvest of timber and a variety of other sources, including property taxes, but not income taxes. So it would affect the way governments are funded clear across the state of Oregon. So I mention that just to keep your eye on that particular piece of legislation. A couple of other items quickly. This morning, some late breaking news I got from what's known as the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. That's a federal agency. And they have now finalized the offshore areas where there would be wind energy to generate electricity. And it's down off the southern Oregon coast. But ultimately, it may take in more area, meaning it would come up the coast into our area, but that's quite a number of years off. But what they've done is finalized an area off Coos Bay of about 61,000 acres. and it's, according to the material, about 32 miles out to sea, so probably would not even be visible from the shore. Then a bit further south in the Brookings, they have finalized an area of about 133,000 acres. That's 18 miles offshore. Now, that means that's where they would put in the wind generation out in the ocean, either floating or anchored to the bottom. And it would generate substantial amounts of electricity. But keep in mind, it would be quite some time before all this happens. First of all, they still have some approvals. They have environmental issues. Then they have transmission issues. So, it's 7, 8, 10 years or more off. But they did finalize the area, and they say that it's agreed upon by the fishermen and those who use the ocean commercially. So late breaking news, I guess. And finally, I'll just mention today I'll be at Fair Board this evening and a solid waste advisory committee this afternoon. And so things are pretty busy, particularly with the legislature in session. So Commissioner, that's it for this morning, and pass on to others if you would. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Let me ask if Commissioner Scar is with us now. She may very well be traveling back from NACO today. I had it in my head that she was back today, but I'm probably mistaken. So Commissioner Scar and Rachel Haggerty from our office have been at the National Association of Counties Conference for the last couple of days. It was Rachel's first time to go, and I think Commissioner Scar's second time. And I was hoping to hear her NACO report, but we'll save that for next week. So I'll just mention a couple things. Senator Weber talked about the going away party for Dr. Ross Tomlin, who retired he was president of Tillamook Bay Community College. That was on Friday. It was a lovely farewell luncheon. And I also want to express my thanks and gratitude to Dr. Tomlin for his 7 years of service leading Tillamook Bay Community College. And I'd also like to welcome Dr. Paul Jarrell to the position. He is officially now the president of Tillamook Bay Community College. So if you haven't met Paul Jarrell yet, I hope you'll have the opportunity to soon. He's been working for the college for the last 18 months as a vice president of administration, academics, and student services, or something close to that. And he's just wonderful. He's an outstanding professional in his field, and everybody is really looking forward to working with him as president. So here's to the next 7 years of growth and excellence at Tillamook Bay Community College. And thanks to everyone, including the senator, who came to that farewell luncheon. It was really nice. I also want to just give a shout out to Charity Drive. Charity Drive is happening now, and it is just an outstanding event. And it's one of the things that I love about Tillamook County, how the whole community gets involved in helping Tillamook High School students raise money for Dornbeckers Children's Hospital, but also for local concerns. I think half of the money goes to Dornbeckers and half of it stays here in Tillamook County, and they use it for scholarships and grants. The students have the opportunity to administer grants to local nonprofits, which is a really great experience. And it's just, it's wonderful. And I think it not only raises a terrific amount of money, like, in the ballpark of $200,000 to $250,000 a year, every year from our community. But also we're building community. The whole community comes together, parents and grandparents and businesses and young people, and the whole community comes together to accomplish this. And it's really extraordinary. So pat on the back to everyone who participates in this, because this doesn't happen at this level in other communities. It really is unique and amazing. And also, when I think about what I love about Tillamook County, it's one of the things in particular is the heart for service that people have here, which I find extraordinary compared to other places. The level of volunteership and the level of investment that people make in their community to make it a better place to live and help their neighbors And that shows up in all kinds of places, but it really shows up in Charity Drive. And in Charity Drive, you can see it happening in multiple generations, and you can see how we're providing the culture of community service. We're teaching young people the value of community service and engaging with them, doing it with them. And you see it now happening with students and their parents and their grandparents who participated in Charity Drive when they were students. So really, it is an amazing thing. And if you have a chance to do some Charity Drive activities or participate in some way, please do. And I think the last thing I want to say is happy birthday tomorrow to Oregon. Tomorrow is Oregon's 165th birthday. So we live in an amazing place, and I am grateful to live here every day. And with that, I will jump into the reports from the cities. And first, I'll call on Manzanita and Mayor Catherine Stock. Mayor Stock, are you with us? Hey, we can hear you. Good morning.
I was warned of the brief pause, so that really does happen. So, yes, I hit *6. I'm pretty proud of myself. That's my first meeting action. So, greetings and hello to everyone from Manzanita. I am our relatively new mayor coming into office in just this past January. I wanted to provide a couple of updates from our most recent council meeting, which was held last week. And it's nice timing because I'm going to build on the culture of community service that Commissioner Bell was just mentioning. We took the opportunity at our council meeting and spent about an hour saying thank you, basically, and expressing our gratitude to all of the people, all of the organizations, volunteer, or otherwise, who helped us out during the ice storm. Now, that may already seem like a long time ago to some folks, but it was still top of mind for us, and we wanted to make sure that we said thank you publicly. So we had about around 25 first responders come. We had folks who made the trip up from Tillamook, and we're thankful for that. Several people from the county, our own local fire and rescue department, our police force, the ambulance drivers who were on call at that point, our local organization, the Emergency Volunteer Corps of Nehalem Bay. So it was a great chance to see people in person all at once and to just acknowledge the service that they provide and how much the community respected that and respects them for the work that they do. So I just like to continue to echo that gratitude on our call this morning. And we did in that first hour with a standing ovation for that group as they left. We did not require them to stay for the full city council meeting. So in more normal business, we were able to fill open positions with great candidates who had applied for our budget committee. We also filled the open position we had in our council. So now we're back up to full strength on our city council and all of our commissions and committees. We also announced the formal start of our comprehensive planning process, which will be beginning later this spring. Many of the people on this call are aware of that process. We are expecting it to be somewhere between a year to 18 months to do all of the work. But later this spring, we'll be appointing, I'm sure, a very strong committee of volunteers who will serve as citizen advisors to that work. And we'll be bringing on board the consultant who will be helping us lead that work. So that's it from Manzanita this morning, where the sun is shining. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. It was a pleasure to have you on the call this morning. Welcome. I hope we'll hear from you regularly. Congratulations on being appointed Mayor of Manzanita. I know people are excited to work with you. And thanks for mentioning the recognition of first responders, and thanks for doing it. I had the opportunity to be at your city council meeting last week, and and thank people along with you. And it was just such an outstanding idea. I can't think of another public meeting where that has happened in that way. So bravo to Manzanita City Council for envisioning how to recognize first responders. And there were folks from the county who were honored there, and also folks from the city of Manzanita and from Adventist Health Ambulance and from Public Works. And it was so good. And I loved the format that for our listeners, the Manzanita City Council set it up so that Dan, whose last name just flew out of my head, but who's the Public Works Director in Manzanita, Dan was the sort of MC, and he invited people to stand up and talk about their experience in the ice storm, what it was like for them to be of service in the ice storm. So we heard from firefighters and from Public Works folks and from Tillamook County Emergency Management, et cetera, about how they experienced the ice storm. And one of the most moving stories to me was from the Nehalem Bay Fire and Rescue, who had an emergency call in Wheeler during the ice storm, and it on a steep hill, of course, and they went up, they tried to go up the hill and slid back down 2 blocks, which had to be terrifying. So they went up the hill on foot to the person's house who they were helping, and then they rigged that person up in a rescue basket like you've seen on film when people are lifted out with a helicopter. They put the person in a rescue basket and then released them by rope down 2 blocks down that icy hill to be able to get to the ambulance. So it was an extraordinary story that really stuck with me. We heard about the ice over the Nehalem Bridge and how cars and trucks were just stuck up there because it was so slippery and they couldn't go anywhere, and people were stuck up there for hours, and it was really very meaningful to hear from first responders about their experience. We heard from Landon Myers from PUD. PUD is a huge benefit to our community, and especially in times of emergency, about how people were working nonstop for a day and a half before they even got a break. So it was really meaningful to be able to thank our first responders, but also it was a great thing for Manzanita City Council to do. So bravo. With that, we can move on to the city of Nehalem. Do we have anybody on from Nehalem? Maybe Lori Longfellow? If not, how about Wheeler? Rockaway Beach? How about Garibaldi?
Sorry, this is Charles from Rockaway Beach. It took me a little bit longer to get myself unmuted. I trust you can hear me.
Good morning, Mayor. We can hear you.
Great. So just a few things this morning. Demolition of the wayside restrooms is complete, and new ADA compliant restrooms will be assembled in the same spot over the next few weeks. I am very excited to have the old restrooms gone. They were a bit of embarrassment to the city, and excited about having the new restrooms installed before spring break. Also mentioned Chief Hesse and 3 firefighters are going to participate in a proactive behavioral health class, learning to manage the stress of being a first responder. And I'm excited for them. I think it's a big deal. And then our February council workshop is at 4:30 p.m. on Valentine's Day, because we love our job. And council will discuss hiring a consultant to assist the city in developing a strategic plan, review applicants for the city's off-season marketing grant program, and applicants for the facade grant program. Our council meeting will follow at 6 p.m. Council will consider 6 resolutions and an ordinance to authorize city council to set a cap on short-term rentals. If passed, Rockaway Beach will set a number of STRs cap rather than a percentage of housing units cap. And then, of course, meeting materials are available on our city website, corb.us. And with that, back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have any questions for Mayor McNeely? If not, thank you for being with us, and we can move on to the City of Garibaldi. Do we have Mayor Findling with us this morning? How about the City of Bay City?
Good morning, Commissioner. This is Leanne Welch. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. So tonight at 6 p.m., the Bay City City Council has our regular meeting, and it will be the second public hearing of our development code update. We spent about 4 years working on this, so trying to wrap that up this evening. We have also completed our sewer lift station down off of Hayes Oyster with the ARPA money, and included that we've constructed an RV dump station when we built our lift station. It is now open. It's located at 3rd and B Street in Bay City, and for a fee of $10, you can dump your RV vehicle down there. The other thing I'd like to mention is Monday, January 19th at 5:30 is the Bay City Emergency Volunteers. So if there's residents of Bay City listening to this, we hope you join us at the Bay City Community Hall Monday the 19th at 5:30. And with that, I will turn it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. Let's move on to the City of Tillamook. Nathan George, are you with us?
Good morning, Commissioner. I am. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning. We can.
Good. It is wonderful having sun here in Tillamook this morning. In the police department, myself and Lieutenant Trox had a great meeting with our CARE Inc. staff and Public Works staff on the next steps for establishing our safe rest areas in the City of Tillamook. So next steps are in place. We'll be meeting soon. We are really appreciative of the hard work that CARE does in their partnership with us. So that's a process to establish some safe rest places so that they can get additional help. Lieutenant Trox is working with our community grocer partners in regard to our new shopping ordinance. And that ordinance, again, in brevity, is that shopping carts will now be, they're chargeable for a fine or a fee or a citation. And also the property owners will need to collect them and several other regulations. But the grocery stores have been very receptive of it. They also will be putting eventually, and we told them they could put them in as they purchase new carts, or they can do it sooner if they like, but putting numbers on those. So if you see a cart that's been abandoned, you can call and let the property owner know where it's at. That went into effect recently. Meetings with all major retailers and grocers have been completed. As I said, this partnership is invaluable and appreciated greatly from all of our grocers. Annual performance evaluation of the police department underway with all staff of the police department. It's a great time of year to recognize and bring to light the hard work and great work our staff is doing. And our DA, District Attorney Olson, hosted another major crimes team meeting this past week. These meetings are excellent ways to get all of our law enforcement officers involved in this process of ensuring our response to major crimes are seamlessly completed. So we want to thank our DA Olson. And Lieutenant Trox will attend a meeting with Tides of Change to discuss our county's need to work adjusting our response protocols for child abuse and response to sexual assaults. Reminder that next Wednesday, the 21st, the police department is hosting a coffee with a cop at the Starbucks next to Denny's on North Main Avenue in Tillamook. This is from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Please come by and say hello and have a casual conversation with the Tillamook Police Department officers. I'm excited to have been invited to attend, so that will be exciting. In the Public Works Department, the Streets Division is entering a proactive phase of regular maintenance, demonstrating our unwavering dedication to our community well-being and the city's sustainability goals. Our committed team will undertake various tasks, including using specialized street sweepers for thorough cleaning, patching up potholes to ensure smooth and secure roadways, and tending to local parts for the enjoyment of residents. Throughout these efforts, the safety of our personnel and the preservation of our equipment remain top priorities. We take pride in the work, recognizing its pivotal point in maintaining the city's aesthetic appeal, functionality, and sustainability. Your cooperation and understanding during these maintenance activities significantly improve our community's quality of life. And I wanted to give a shout out to our Public Works Department in the past couple of years, they have really been able to streamline operations and really moving forward and getting a lot done. And I've had a lot of people comment how much they appreciate the committee and the way it's looking. So we want to say thank you to our Public Works Department. Also, our dedicated Public Works crews operate from 6:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday to ensure the smooth functioning of essential service within the city of Tillamook. Again, our Public Works is not just streets. They handle stormwater. They handle building maintenance for our buildings. They also handle all of our water and all of our sewer. Please get in touch with an on-call employee at 503-842-2472. That's our main number. It's on our website. And you can always call that number and get to an on-call person for urgent matters outside regular business hours. Also, for any questions, non-urgent issues, or maintenance requests within the city limits, please email our Public Works Department. And it's just a really simple email. It's publicworks@tillamookor.gov. So it's publicworks at our website. We prioritize addressing inquiries in the order they are received, and we appreciate your patience as you strive to provide timely and efficient assistance. Thank you for your cooperation, understanding, and helping us maintain the well-being of our community. Also, if a person doesn't know exactly which organization or entity it is, whether it's an ODOT street or it's a county street or a Public Works street, it's okay just to email us, and we will send it along if it's to the correct. If it's not in the city, then we'll send it along to the county or to ODOT. And a fun fact, water possesses a high heat capacity, meaning it can absorb a substantial amount of heat before experiencing significant temperature increase. This quality renders water invaluable in various industrials as a coolant and as a coolant in our car radiators. Additionally, the high heat capacity of water plays a role in regulating the rate at which air changes temperature. This phenomenon contributes to the gradual transition between seasons, particularly in areas near oceans like ours, where the water's heat index helps temper the abruptness of temperature fluctuations. City staff will be meeting with the Tillamook Board of Realtors tomorrow morning at Alderbrook Golf Course to discuss the new sewer ordinance regulations that the City Council approved towards the end of 2023. Again, in short, the major changes were that the 60 days for testing and compliance of private sewer lines, which was in the past, been in our code for decades, was lengthened to 12 months. With a new appeals process, it could give an additional 6 months for compliance for qualifying residents. So the council has gone from 60 days to now potentially up to 18 months to inspect and get your sewer lateral lines in compliance. And that is a lot of work, but it's really important, and we are constantly putting on information about that. So feel free to visit our website or call us if you have any questions. Also, the ordinance puts in place a point-of-sale inspection process and requires repairs when needed that is required upon the sale of all properties. So when a property is being sold, it requires to have a point inspection, and that way it's fixed if there's a problem. This protects the city, and it also protects our new property owners. The city has hired several new employees, or several new employees will be coming on board in the near future, for which we're very excited about. Also, we still have several positions available. City of Tillamook, please visit our website or stop by City Hall for an application. Also want to announce that on February 4th, we will be going live with our new website. We'll be using Civic Plus, which is the same company the county uses. And it's also a company I worked with for a very long time. So very excited about that. It won't be perfect in the beginning, but we are working hard at getting that ready. And we are also working on more integrated forms and information for residents to be able to sign up and get information, and also provide information to the city. So look forward to that. We're very excited about it. A reminder, if you see something, say something by calling 911 for emergencies or dispatch for non-emergencies. And the next council meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 20th at 7 p.m. I also wanted to mention that on Monday, February 4th, the City Council will be holding a work session in place to regular meeting to discuss sewer laterals. Some members of the council have inquired about the city taking over the private line between the sewer point of connection and the property line. So city staff will be providing information so that the council can make an informed decision. We encourage everyone interested in your local government to attend virtually or in person. And that's all I have, Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate the report.
You're welcome.
Well, I would like to conclude this meeting today with condolences for the family of Mark Weigart. Mark's memorial service was last weekend. It was attended by hundreds of people. He was a beloved Neatart's oyster farmer and outstanding citizen, and will leave a great hole in the community. So condolences to Mark Weigart's family, and thanks to Mark Weigart for his longstanding service to Tillamook County. With that, I will say thank you to KTIL for broadcasting. Thanks to everyone for participating in this call, and thank you, Tillamook, for listening. This meeting is adjourned at 9:05.